Welcome to TFO Canada's registration instruction video. This guide will take you through the 3 steps on how to register your organization and its export offers on our website in order to access TFO Canada's free information and promotion services. There are 2 main levels of access to TFO Canada's online services. The first level grants access to richer online content, including, but not limited to, market information papers, our guide on exporting to Canada, and market entry sections. The second level is for companies who have at least 1 year of export experience. Level 2 allows access to the online content provided in Level 1 and also grants access to promote your export offer to Canada and international buyers. Completing Step 2 will ensure that your products and company are available in our searchable supplier database and are promoted to TFO Canada's registered Canadian importers through our monthly Import Info e-newsletter. To begin, open your web browser and type www.tfocanada.ca into the address bar and press enter. You can also search for TFO Canada on Google or other search engines. In the upper right-hand corner, you will see a link that says, "Not a member? Register here." Click on the link to go to our registration page. Under the Make Your Selection, click on Foreign Suppliers, Trade Advisors, Consultants link. All organizations registering with TFO Canada must fill out Step 1 in order to complete the registration process. Please note that all fields with an asterisk are required and must be filled out correctly in order to complete registration. As we go through the registration process in this video, we will be using the example of a fictitious coffee producer called TFO Coffee. First, fill in your company details. Choose an organization type from the drop-down menu that can be found by clicking on the first empty box. In our case, we would select manufacturer/producer as our organization type. Next, choose a username and password. This is what you will use to sign in to your TFO Canada website, so it should be something easy to remember. Don't forget to write this down for your records to ensure that you can access our website in the future. Please note that both need to be 10 characters or less. In our case, we are using the username TFO Canada and our password is TFO CDA Demo. Finally, you can include your website. Please ensure that you begin with http:// and then include the rest of your website. In our case, it would be www.tfocanada.ca. For exporters to be included in Level 2, a website must be provided. The next information to enter is the primary contact information. Please include the main contact person for your company, in our case it's Steve Tipman, and their title if you would like. Next, enter the email you would like to receive market access information. If you do not include an email, you will not be able to automatically retrieve a forgotten password or receive website notification. Finally, select whether you would like to receive emails from TFO Canada. Only those who opt in to our emails will receive TFO Canada's updates, including our quarterly newsletter called Export to Canada, along with invitations to online seminars or webinars. The next step is to tell us more about your company. Let's start off with the year your company was established. In our case, TFO Coffee was established in 1989. From the drop-down menu, select the industry that best describes your product. If your product falls within more than one category, select the most important industry from the primary industry list, and the other industry from the secondary industry list. If your product only falls within one industry, select it from the primary industry list and leave the secondary industry list blank. Next, you have the option to include a short description of your company in order to give importers an insight into your company and its operations. Once you are happy with your description, tell us how many full-time, part-time, and seasonal employees you have. In our case, we have 12. Next, if you know the percentage of women that work at your company, enter only the number in the box. In our case, the percentage is 50. If you have any contract, occasional, or indirect employees, type the number in this box. Finally, select the option that best describes your company's ownership/management. In our case, we are going to select mixed ownership/management. The next section is about your certifications. Select all of the certifications that your company currently holds. If a certification you hold is not on the list, add it in the text box below, including the certifying bodies and any other important information. Additionally, if your company is pending any certifications, include them in the text box. Lastly, please describe briefly any corporate social responsibility activities or programs in your company. These can include, but are not limited to, environmental protection, good working conditions, or community development. In our case, we will say that we follow coffee and farmer equity practices, which set guidelines for quality, economic accountability and transparency, social responsibility, and environmental leadership. The last section of Step 1 is about export experience. If you have less than 1 year of exporting experience, select No. If you selected this option, congratulations! You have finished the registration process. Please read over the information you have entered, and when you are happy with it, click the Submit button at the bottom of the page. If you have at least 1 year of export experience, select Yes. Please enter the year your company began to export. In our case, we will say that TFO Coffee began exporting in 2001. Next, fill in the product you exported in the first box, the destination in the second box, the dollar value, rounded to the nearest US dollar, in the third box, and the year you exported to them in the fourth box. Please do not put any punctuation in the third box, only numbers. If you need to convert to US dollars, click on the Currency Conversion tool. This section is for all destinations other than those to Canada. If you have exported to Canada, select Yes to the Previous Exports to Canada question beneath the table. Enter the year you began exporting to Canada. In our case, we will put 2010. Next, fill in the name of the organization you exported to in the first box, their address in the second box, the dollar value, rounded to the nearest US dollar, in the third box, and the year you exported to them in the fourth box. Please do not put any punctuation in the third box, only numbers. This section is only for all destinations in Canada. In our case, we will say that the name of the organization we exported to is The Coffee Shop, their address is 1017 Main Street in Ottawa, Canada, the dollar value is $250,000, and the year was 2010. If you have an agent or representative carrying your products, please indicate who they are. This shows that you have an understanding of Canadian import market. Congratulations! You have finished Step 1 of the registration process. Please read over the information you have inputted, and when you are happy with it, click the Submit button at the bottom of the page. If you have at least 1 year experience exporting your product, please proceed to Step 2. This step is optional but highly recommended. It allows you to manage the information about your products and services. Please note that this step is required for your company to be included in the TFO Canada Supplier Database and other promotional services. Make sure you have completed Step 1 and are signed in order to complete this step. Let's move on to Step 2. To begin, select the product group that best describes the product from the drop-down list. In our case, we will select food products and beverages. Next, select the option from subgroup 1 that best describes your product. In our case, we will select coffee, tea, cocoa, and sugar. Once you have made a selection from the subgroup, choose the option from the next subgroup until the remaining subgroups say completed, or until you fill in all 4 subgroups. In our case, we will select coffee, and then we will select roasted beans. Next, type in the product name. In our case, our product is roasted decaffeinated coffee beans. The last thing to put in this section is the HS code. If you know it already, you may type it in without punctuation. If not, click on the Search for HS6 code. In the pop-up box, type in the name of the product. We will search for coffee. Select the HS6 code that corresponds to your product from the list. If your product does not appear in the list, try using a different name or less words. Once you have selected the correct HS6 code, click on the Submit button. This will send you to another page where you can click the HS6 number to insert it into the product form. Click the number to insert it in the second step and close the window. If this does not work, you can also copy the number and manually put it in the form. The last section to complete in step 2 is the price and production information. First off, fill in the price per unit in Canadian dollars. If you need to convert to Canadian dollars, click on the currency conversion tool. In our case, our price per unit is 110 Canadian per pound. Next, type out the annual production capacity and the annual export capacity of your organization. Please include only the units and do not put spaces. Lastly, include a brief description of your product and its use. Once you have looked over all of your responses and are happy with it, click Submit. It will take 3 to 5 business days for processing and approval by TFO Canada. You may finish the registration process here. However, we highly recommend completing Step 3 and uploading documents such as pictures, brochures, and price lists. Make sure you have completed Step 1 and are signed in order to complete this step. The first section allows you to upload images. This could be your logo, banner, products, or other images related to your company. If you would like to describe the image, fill in the image text box. In our case, we are going to write coffee beans. Next, click on the Choose File button and select an image you would like to upload. Please note that all images must be in the form of a JPEG, PNG, or GIF file. Once you have selected the image, click on the Open button. Lastly, click the Upload button to upload the image. And then click Continue. You may upload more than one image, however the total limit on all uploads, including images and documents, is 1500 kilobytes. After you upload an image or document, you can check how much kilobytes you are using by checking the profile monitor on the right-hand side. If you would like to upload a brochure or price list, there is a section at the bottom of the page to upload a document. First, click on the Choose File button. Once the pop-up opens, select the document you wish to upload. In our case, we will select TFO Coffee Brochure. Please note that all documents must be in either a doc, PPT, XLS, or PDF form. Once you have selected the document, click the Open button. Select if you would like to make it public or private, and whether it is a brochure or a price list. Finally, click the Upload button, and then click Continue. You may upload more than one document as long as you stay within the 1500 kilobyte limit. Please note you are encouraged to update your profile at any time, especially if you have new products or new packaging or meet new regulatory requirements. You can now explore the content created to help you understand the Canadian market and how to access it. Watch a recorded webinar on preparing for trade show participation. Complete the Exporter Readiness Assessment. Search for a Canadian importer using the Canadian Importer Database. Read a market information paper on your product, such as dried food, nuts, and spices. Learn about the approved certifications for exporting to Canada, among other information on our website. Congratulations! You have now completed the registration process on TFO Canada's website. Here is an example of a completed profile. And it can be accessed through the link in the address bar or through our searchable foreign supplier database. Thank you for watching, and let TFO Canada be your partner on accessing the Canadian market.